for Japan Airlines Flight 61 to Tokyo Narita Airport. All passengers boarding.
Okay, so today we're going to jump right into a topic I find really fascinating and kind of unsettling at the same time, clandestine migration.
Yeah, it's definitely a complex issue with a lot of moving parts.
And to really try to understand it, we're going to use this excerpt from a novel called Exile to Hell. It follows a character named Pierre, and we're going to focus specifically on the first part of his journey through Brazil.
Right, and just to be upfront about it, this excerpt comes with a note from the author stating that it's a work of fiction. You know, characters and events are imagined.
Of course, of course. But
however, they also mentioned that a lot of the descriptions are inspired by actual accounts and research on migration.
yeah, I noticed that too. So like even though we're looking at a fictional story, it still gives us this valuable glimpse into, what someone might go through when they choose to migrate outside of the typical legal ways.
Exactly. It's like a window into this world that most of us probably don't have direct experience with.
Exactly. And I think following Pierre's journey, specifically in this first leg,
Yeah.
for Brazil, helps us really grasp the human side of this huge global phenomenon.
Absolutely. So where do we even begin with this? I mean, Pierre's arrival in São Paulo is quite striking.
It is, right? He just walks through the airport and customs and seems so much calmer than like all the other migrants around him.
Yeah, almost like he doesn't grasp the gravity of the situation yet.
Right. And then he's immediately taken aback by just the sheer size and modernity of the Sao Paulo airport.
Right. I mean, it's a stark contrast to what he's used to back home in Cameroon.
Totally. And it's not even just about the airport itself. It's his whole perception of Brazil at that moment. This developed nation with resources and opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. And what's interesting is that before even reaching Brazil, he had this 24-hour layover in Ethiopia.
Oh, yeah, in Addis Ababa.
Yeah, and they put him up in this really luxurious hotel. And for a minute there, Pierre actually thinks like, wow, maybe this whole journey is going to be like a breeze.
Uh-huh. Yeah, right. Walk in the park.
Yeah, little does he know.
Oh, man, the irony. It's like that little detail really sets us up for the harsh reality check that's coming his way.
Oh, definitely. Things take a very different turn when he finally meets his guide in Sao Paulo.
Right. This person takes him to a house where he meets a bunch of other people who are also, trying to migrate clandestinely.
It's a real mixed bag of individuals, each with their own unique story.
Yeah, and there are these three people that really stand out to Pierre right from the start.
Definitely. Let's start with Sharra. There's this instant connection between them, a sense of compatibility that he notices during those first few interactions.
Yeah, like even in this super uncertain and stressful situation, human connection still finds a way.
It's remarkable, isn't it? And then there's Keneth, who's described as being very serious, like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders.
And he actually shares a bit about his past with Pierre, that he lost his entire family in the Anglophone crisis back in Cameroon.
It's heartbreaking, and it really highlights those very real and devastating reasons why people are forced to flee their homes. Political instability, violence, persecution. These are all major drivers of migration globally.
It's a stark reminder of the desperation that fuels these journeys. And then we have Frank, who seems like the complete opposite of Keneth.
Oh, yeah, totally. Frank's super talkative, almost a little too enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And he mentions that he's already tried to immigrate multiple times before finally making it to Brazil.
It really speaks to the incredible determination and resilience that people have to keep going, even after facing so many obstacles.
Absolutely. It's like this underlying current throughout the whole story.
Yeah, this unwavering hope for a better life.
So after this initial meeting, things actually seem to take a positive turn for a while.
Right. They all board this double-decker bus.
Not some shady cramped van or anything. It's a proper bus with comfortable seats.
Yeah, they even mentioned that Pierre gets to sit next to Sharra.
And for those first 2 days, the journey almost feels like they're on vacation. I know, right? The way they describe the scenery, these sprawling ranches, sugarcane plantations, isolated processing plants, all set against these beautiful landscapes.
It's like this idyllic postcard image that completely clashes with the clandestine nature of their trip.
Like a momentary glimpse of tranquility before things get real.
Yeah, because that calm definitely shatters when they reach the Bolivian border.
Oh, yeah. The mood changes drastically.
They're met by this woman who's described as very fat and androgynous.
Okay.
And she's supposed to transport all 7 of them in her tiny car.
Oh, wow. Crammed in like sardines.
Pretty much. It immediately highlights that they're moving into a more hidden, less regulated phase of their journey.
So they're really going underground now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then comes the actual border crossing.
Yep.
They don't go through any official checkpoints, obviously.
It's all very hush-hush.
They end up walking through some brush in the evening using the cover of darkness.
Makes sense. And I bet there's some bribery involved, too.
Oh, you bet. The excerpt specifically mentions that they had to bribe some uniformed men and immigration agents.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a common occurrence in these situations. It's how these informal networks operate.
It's a reminder that clandestine migration often relies on these shady dealings and corruption.
It's a whole other layer of complexity and risk.
Totally. And so this first part of Pierre's journey through Brazil ends with them arriving at this family home.
Okay.
It belongs to a man named Armando Pepito, who's described as their next guide.
Ah, so like a coyote.
Exactly. Someone who helps people cross borders illegally, usually for a hefty fee.
Makes you wonder what Pierre's going to face next.
Yeah, that's where the excerpt leaves us hanging. It really makes you think about what challenges and dangers might be waiting for him in the next leg of his journey.
So looking back at this first part, a few key things really jump out, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
We see Pierre's first impressions of Brazil, that contrast between what he's used to and this new environment. Then we're introduced to this diverse group of people, all with their own reasons for migrating and the risks they're willing to take.
And that shift from the relative comfort of the bus to the secrecy and potential danger at the border is really stark.
It highlights those different phases and increasing vulnerabilities that are part and parcel of clandestine migration.
And it leaves us with so many questions. What's going to happen to Pierre next? Will he make it to his final destination? What about Sharra, Keneth, and Frank? Will they achieve their goals, or will they face deportation exploitation? Who knows?
It makes you think about the hopes and dreams that drive people to embark on these journeys, even when they know the risks.
And the harsh realities they often encounter along the way.
It's a powerful reminder that behind these large-scale global movements, there are individual human stories of struggle, resilience, and the pursuit of a better life.
It really puts a human face on this complex issue.
It does. And it leaves us with this question to ponder. What do you think this contrast between those brief moments of ease and the looming dangers tells us about the true nature of clandestine migration and the people who undertake these journeys?
It's a question worth considering. It's about understanding those individual stories and the broader context of global migration patterns and the factors that drive them.
Exactly. It's about looking beyond the statistics and seeing the human beings at the heart of it all.
It's a reminder that these aren't just abstract issues. They're real people with real hopes and dreams and real struggles. And their stories deserve to be heard.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this kind of deep dive so important.
It's about shedding light on these often hidden experiences and fostering empathy and understanding.
It's about starting a conversation and hopefully inspiring action towards a more just and compassionate world.
Well said. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a really insightful conversation.
It has. And to our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep engaging with these complex issues because that's how we make a difference.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Take care.